sin. When I awaken, allow me to begin a new life, a new path without sin. Or is that even possible? I doubt it. Mountain of truth to move through and uncover. Fountain of youth retained inside of the brain. It's no wonder the blunder it's caused. The rumbling of thunder will pause and raise the raised hands of the gods. Nameless with the laws, broken stone against the laws. Swimming side to side, a little rope and dope. Given as I hold the throne, never choke. This is mission suicide. Going all out, headed for broke, so it's do or die. Can you hear me now, homie? Because it's neither you or I. With the deeper look into these dual, shallow, hallowed eyes. Many past lives lived and analyzed. Seen, smelled, felt, recognized. Confused, lost, and traumatized. Left mind hypnotized. Fluorinated, overweight, supersized. Contemplate, supervised. By them blades over blank stares, polarized. Who the hell am I, homie? I'm feeling so lonely and phony, naked and floaty. You, Father, for I have sinned. When I awaken, allow me to begin a new life, a new path without sin. Or is that even possible? I doubt it. Now I'm down on my knees with both of these broken palms pressed together so firmly. Scars so deep from a life of burning. The pain I was led to believe was part of learning. Tell me what the hell is my mind still whining, tears grinding, turning and churning, sin and insane. Pretty pictures, how the hell come my pain? Lost souls screaming and yelling, perfect yearning. A war-torn child and
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. And as always, a better tomorrow. No doubt about it. So, we have a video queued up here. The name of the video is called The Way of Walking Alone, 21 Principles for Life by Motomayashi Dako Katu, whatever. The name of the channel that this is brought to you by is Success Chasers. Please go like, subscribe, and share to them, and tell them that Larry James 965 sent you. Thank you. Oh, wait a minute. I can't do that. Here.
Dokodo, also known as the Way of Walking Alone. This is a set of principles created by Miyamoto Musashi, a famous samurai and swordsmanship expert in Japan. The Dokodo is a guide to living a fulfilling life through self-discipline, mindfulness, and detachment. Before we get into the principles of the Dokodo, let's first understand the context in which it was created. Miyamoto Musashi lived during the 17th century, a time when Japan was in a state of constant turmoil. He was a ronin, a masterless samurai, who spent much of his life traveling the country and engaging in duels with other warriors. Despite his reputation as one of the greatest swordsmen in history, Musashi eventually grew tired of violence and sought to find a more peaceful way of life. It was during this time that he wrote the Dokodo, which he intended as a guide for himself and others who wished to live a fulfilling life. The Dokodo is divided into 21 principles, each of which offers a unique perspective on how to live a fulfilling life. First, let's take a look at some of the overarching themes of the Dokodo. Self-discipline. Musashi believed that self-discipline was the key to living a fulfilling life. Without it, we're easily swayed by our emotions and impulses, which can lead to poor decisions and a lack of direction. By cultivating self-discipline, we're able to stay focused on our goals and make choices that align with our values. The second theme is mindfulness. Musashi believed that being present in the moment was essential to living a fulfilling life. When we're mindful, we're able to appreciate the beauty of the world around us and find joy in simple pleasures. We're also able to recognize our own thoughts and feelings, which allows us to respond to them in a more constructive way. The final theme of the Dokudo is detachment. Musashi believed that being attached to material possessions or external factors was a source of suffering. By letting go of our attachments, we're able to find inner peace and live a more fulfilling life. Accept everything just the way it is. Now that we've established the themes of the Dokudo, let's take a closer look at each of the 21 principles. The first principle is, accept everything just the way it is. This principle emphasizes the importance of accepting reality for what it is, rather than trying to impose our own expectations onto it. By accepting things as they are, we're able to avoid unnecessary frustration and disappointment. We're also able to recognize the opportunities that exist within any given situation, rather than focusing solely on its drawbacks. Acceptance is a powerful tool for inner peace and contentment. When we learn to accept everything just the way it is, we let go of our need to control or change external circumstances. This principle encourages us to look at our lives with an open mind and heart, free from judgment or preconceived notions. By doing so, we allow ourselves to see the world as it truly is, rather than through the lens of our own expectations and desires. Of course, acceptance is easier said than done. It can be difficult to let go of our attachment to certain outcomes or situations, especially when they don't align with our vision for our lives. But by practicing acceptance, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and contentment, regardless of what life throws our way. We can also learn to appreciate the beauty and wonder of the world around us, even in the midst of adversity. The second principle is, do not seek pleasure for its own sake. This principle reminds us that pleasure should not be our sole focus in life. While it's important to enjoy the pleasures of life, such as good food, entertainment, and companionship, we should not become so consumed by them that we lose sight of our goals and values. By avoiding excessive pleasure seeking, we're able to maintain a sense of balance and perspective in our lives. The pursuit of pleasure is a natural and human desire, but it can also be a source of suffering. When we seek pleasure for its own sake, we often become trapped in a cycle of craving and addiction. This principle encourages us to approach pleasure with a sense of moderation and discernment, recognizing that true happiness comes not from external pleasures, but from within. Of course, this is easier said than done. It can be challenging to resist the allure of instant gratification and to cultivate a sense of inner contentment. However, by practicing self-discipline and moderation, we can learn to find joy in simple pleasures and to cultivate a greater sense of satisfaction in our lives. The third principle is, do not under any circumstances depend on a partial feeling. This principle warns against making decisions based solely on our emotions or temporary impulses. Instead, we should strive to make decisions based on a deep understanding of ourselves and our circumstances. By doing so, we're able to avoid making rash or ill-informed decisions that we may later regret. This principle encourages us to cultivate a sense of detachment from our emotions and feelings. Rather than becoming attached to specific emotions or moods, we are encouraged to remain open and receptive to all experiences. By doing so, we cultivate a greater sense of inner balance and stability, free from the highs and lows of emotional volatility. Of course, this principle does not encourage us to become numb or indifferent to our emotions. Instead, it encourages us to approach our emotions with a sense of detachment and non-attachment, recognizing that they are impermanent and subject to change. By doing so, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and stability. even in the face of challenging circumstances. The fourth principle is think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. This principle encourages us to be humble and avoid becoming too attached to our own sense of importance. By focusing on the world around us, we're able to gain a greater appreciation for its beauty and complexity. This, in turn, can help us to feel more connected to others and to the larger forces that shape our lives. This principle encourages us to cultivate a sense of humility and openness to the world around us. By thinking lightly of ourselves, we free ourselves from the burden of ego and self-importance. By thinking deeply of the world, we cultivate a greater sense of connection and empathy for others. Of course, this principle does not encourage us to devalue our own worth or to neglect our own needs. Rather, it encourages us to approach the world with a sense of curiosity and wonder, recognizing the vastness and complexity of the universe around us. By doing so, we can cultivate a greater sense of humility and gratitude and connect more deeply with the world and the people around us. The fifth principle is be detached from desire your whole life long. This principle emphasizes the importance of letting go of our attachments to material possessions, power, and other external factors. By doing so, we're able to find inner peace and live a more fulfilling life. We're also able to focus our attention on things that truly matter, such as our relationships, our passions, and our personal growth. This principle encourages us to cultivate a sense of non-attachment to our desires and cravings. By doing so, we free ourselves from the cycle of craving and addiction that can trap us in a state of suffering. By cultivating a sense of detachment, we learn to find joy and satisfaction in the present moment rather than in the pursuit of external desires. Of course, this principle does not encourage us to neglect our goals or to abandon our dreams. Rather, it encourages us to approach our desires with a sense of detachment and non-attachment, recognizing that they are impermanent and subject to change. By doing so, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and contentment, even when our external circumstances may not align with our desires.
Yeah.
The sixth principle is do not regret what you have done. This principle reminds us that we cannot change the past, and that dwelling on our mistakes or shortcomings only serves to hold us back. Instead of regretting what we've done, we should focus on learning from our experiences and moving forward with greater wisdom and insight. Regret is a powerful emotion that can trap us in the past and prevent us from moving forward. This principle encourages us to approach our past actions with a sense of acceptance and forgiveness, recognizing that every experience and decision has brought us to where we are today. By doing so,
there are a lot of claims in the document about crazy things that the pyramids can do. Forget about just the lasers coming out of the ape.
We free ourselves from the burden of regret and allow ourselves to fully embrace the present moment. Of course, this principle does not encourage us to neglect the lessons that we can learn from our past mistakes. Rather, it encourages us to approach our past actions with a sense of detachment and non-judgment, recognizing that we cannot change what has already happened. By doing so, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and acceptance and move forward with greater clarity and purpose. The seventh principle is never be jealous. This principle warns against the destructive power of jealousy, which can lead us to feel resentful and bitter towards others. By cultivating a sense of equanimity and detachment, we're able to avoid becoming envious of others and instead focus on our own growth and development. Jealousy is a powerful emotion that can erode our sense of self-worth and connection with others. This principle encourages us to approach our relationships and interactions with others with a sense of generosity and non-attachment, recognizing that we all have our own unique paths and journeys in life. By doing so, we free ourselves from the burden of jealousy and allow ourselves to fully appreciate the beauty and wonder of the world around us. This principle does not encourage us to neglect our own needs, or to neglect the importance of healthy relationships. Rather, it encourages us to approach our relationships with a sense of detachment and non-judgment, recognizing that we cannot control the actions or decisions of others. By doing so, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and contentment and foster deeper and more meaningful connections with the people around us. The eighth principle is, never let yourself be saddened by a separation. This principle reminds us that separations are a natural part of life, and that we should not become too attached to any one person or situation. By accepting the impermanence of life, we're able to find greater peace and contentment, even in the face of loss or change. Sorrow is a natural and human emotion, but it can also be a source of suffering. This principle encourages us to approach our experiences of sorrow and grief with a sense of detachment and non-attachment, recognizing that these emotions are impermanent and subject to change. By doing so, we free ourselves from the burden of sorrow and allow ourselves to fully embrace the present moment. Of course, this principle does not encourage us to neglect the importance of processing our emotions or seeking support when needed. Rather, it encourages us to approach our experiences of sorrow and grief with a sense of detachment and non-judgment, recognizing that these emotions are a natural part of the human experience. By doing so, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and acceptance, and move forward with greater clarity and purpose. The ninth principle is, resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself nor others. This principle warns against the destructive power of negativity, which can lead us to become bitter and resentful towards others. Instead of complaining or harboring resentment, we should strive to find constructive solutions to our problems and to maintain a positive outlook, even in the face of adversity. Resentment and complaints are powerful emotions that can erode our sense of inner peace and contentment. This principle encourages us to approach our experiences of anger and frustration with a sense of detachment and non-attachment, recognizing that these emotions are impermanent and subject to change. By doing so, we free ourselves from the burden of resentment and complaints and allow ourselves to fully embrace the present moment. This principle does not encourage us to neglect the importance of setting boundaries or addressing injustices when needed. Rather, it encourages us to approach our experiences of anger and frustration with a sense of detachment and non-judgment, recognizing that these emotions are a natural part of the human experience. By doing so, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and acceptance, and approach challenging situations with greater clarity and purpose. The 10th principle is, do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love. This principle emphasizes the importance of maintaining a sense of detachment in our relationships, rather than becoming too caught up in our emotions. By doing so, we are able to avoid becoming overly dependent on others and instead cultivate a sense of self-reliance and independence. Lust and love are powerful emotions that can often cloud our judgment and lead us astray. This principle encourages us to approach our experiences of attraction and attachment with a sense of detachment and non-attachment, recognizing that these emotions are impermanent and subject to change. By doing so, we free ourselves from the burden of lust and love and allow ourselves to fully embrace the present moment. It encourages us to approach our experiences of attraction and attachment with a sense of detachment and non-judgment, recognizing
This is your garbage trash browser, and this is Opera GX. you see this difference? Opera is 100% customizable. You can even set how much RAM and CPU usage it uses.
that we cannot control the actions or decisions of others. By doing so, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and contentment, and foster deeper and more meaningful connections with the people around us. The 11th principle is, in all things, have no preferences. This principle reminds us that our preferences are often shaped by our own biases and limitations, and that we should strive to remain open-minded and flexible in our approach to life. By doing so, we're able to appreciate the diversity of the world and to find joy in the unexpected and the unknown. Preferences are a natural part of the human experience, but they can also be a source of suffering. This principle encourages us to approach our experiences with a sense of detachment and non-attachment, recognizing that everything is impermanent and subject to change. By doing so, we free ourselves from the burden of preferences and allow ourselves to fully embrace the present moment. This principle does not encourage us to neglect the importance of making choices or to abandon our values and beliefs. Rather, it encourages us to approach our experiences with a sense of detachment and non-judgment, recognizing that there is no inherent right or wrong way to live our lives. By doing so, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and acceptance and move forward with greater clarity and purpose. Be indifferent to where you live. This principle encourages us to cultivate a sense of inner peace and contentment, regardless of our external circumstances. By detaching ourselves from our physical surroundings, we're able to find greater freedom and flexibility in our lives. We're also able to focus more fully on our inner development and the cultivation of our own character. Our external circumstances, such as our living situation, can often have a powerful impact on our sense of well-being and happiness. This principle encourages us to approach our living situation with a sense of detachment and non-attachment, recognizing that our sense of inner peace and contentment comes from within rather than from our external circumstances. Of course, this principle does not encourage us to neglect the importance of creating a safe and comfortable living environment. Rather, it encourages us to approach our living situation with a sense of detachment and non-judgment, recognizing that our external circumstances are impermanent and subject to change. By doing so, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and contentment and focus our energy on the things that truly matter in life. Principle 13. Do not pursue the taste of good food. Food is a natural and necessary part of life, but it can also be a source of attachment and suffering. This principle encourages us to approach our relationship with food with a sense of detachment and non-attachment, recognizing that the pleasure of good food is impermanent and subject to change. By doing so, we free ourselves from the burden of attachment to food and allow ourselves to fully embrace the present moment. This principle does not encourage us to neglect the importance of nourishing our bodies or to deprive ourselves of the pleasure of good food. Rather, it encourages us to approach our relationship with food with a sense of detachment and non-judgment, recognizing that food is a means to an end rather than an end in itself. By doing so, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and contentment and approach our relationship with food in a healthy and balanced way. Principle 15. Do not act following common customs. Social norms and customs can often dictate how we live our lives and approach our experiences, but they can also be a source of constraint and limitation. This principle encourages us to approach our experiences with a sense of detachment and non-attachment, recognizing that there is no inherent right or wrong way to live our lives. By doing so, we free ourselves from the burden of societal expectations and allow ourselves to fully embrace the present moment. This principle does not encourage us to neglect the importance of community or to abandon our values and beliefs. It encourages us to approach our experiences with a sense of detachment and non-judgment, recognizing that we have the power to make our own choices and live our lives in a way that aligns with our true selves. By doing so, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and contentment and move forward with greater clarity and purpose. Principle 16. Do not be jealous or envious. Jealousy and envy are common human emotions, but they can also be a source of great suffering and discontent. This principle encourages us to approach our relationships and experiences with a sense of detachment and non-attachment, recognizing that the success and happiness of others does not diminish our own worth or happiness. By doing so, we free ourselves from the burden of comparison and jealousy, and allow ourselves to fully embrace the present moment. Of course, this principle does not encourage us to neglect the importance of healthy competition or to abandon our goals and ambitions. It encourages us to approach our relationships and
Over the past 6 months, we have been investigating as well as exposing the truth behind all of these food processing
experiences with a sense of detachment and non-judgment, recognizing that we have the power to define our own success and happiness. We can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and contentment and approach our relationships and experiences in a healthy and balanced way. Principle 17. Do not hold on to anger or resentment. Anger and resentment can be powerful and overwhelming emotions, but they can also be a source of great suffering and turmoil. This principle encourages us to approach our emotions with a sense of detachment and non-attachment, recognizing that anger and resentment are impermanent and subject to change. By doing so, we free ourselves from the burden of negative emotions and allow ourselves to fully embrace the present moment. This principle does not encourage us to neglect the importance of acknowledging and processing our emotions or to abandon our sense of justice and fairness. Rather, it encourages us to approach our emotions with a sense of detachment and non-judgment, recognizing that we have the power to choose how we respond to difficult situations and experiences. We can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and contentment and approach our emotions in a healthy and balanced way. Principle 18. Do not place yourself above others. The human ego is a powerful force that can often lead us to believe that we are superior to others. This principle encourages us to approach our relationships and experiences with a sense of humility and non-attachment, recognizing that all beings are equal and deserving of respect and compassion. By doing so, we free ourselves from the burden of ego. This principle does not encourage us to neglect the importance of self-respect or to abandon our sense of individuality. Rather, it encourages us to approach our relationships and experiences with a sense of humility and non-judgment, recognizing that we are all interconnected and dependent on each other. By doing so, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and contentment, and approach our relationships and experiences in a healthy and balanced way. Principle 19. Do not be attached to your position. Many of us define ourselves by our job titles or social status, but these external markers of identity can also be a source of great suffering and discontent. This principle encourages us to approach our experiences with a sense of detachment and non-attachment, recognizing that our position in society does not define our worth or happiness. By doing so, we free ourselves from the burden of attachment and allow ourselves to fully embrace the present moment. Of course, this principle does not encourage us to neglect the importance of pursuing our passions or to abandon our sense of purpose and direction. Rather, it encourages us to approach our experiences with a sense of detachment and non-judgment, recognizing that our true worth lies in our inner qualities and character. We can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and contentment and approach our experiences in a healthy and balanced way. Principle 20. Do not be preoccupied with living a long life. Many of us fear death and cling to life as if it is the only thing that matters. This principle encourages us to approach our mortality with a sense of acceptance and non-attachment, recognizing that death is an inevitable part of the human experience. This principle does not encourage us to neglect the importance of taking care of our health or to abandon our sense of self-preservation. It encourages us to approach our mortality with a sense of acceptance and non-judgment, recognizing that our time on this earth is limited and precious. By doing so, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and contentment, and approach our lives in a healthy and balanced way. Principle 21. Do not stray from the path. The final principle of the Dokudo is perhaps the most straightforward. Do not stray from the path. This principle encourages us to stay true to our values and principles, and to avoid getting sidetracked by distractions or temptations that may lead us away from our goals. In many ways, this principle is a summation of all the other principles that precede it. By cultivating a sense of detachment, self-awareness, and inner peace, we can stay focused on our goals and maintain a sense of clarity and purpose, even in the face of adversity. Of course, staying true to our path is not always easy. Life is full of distractions and challenges that can test our resolve and lead us astray. However, by embracing the principles of the Dokudo and making a commitment to stay true to our values and principles, we can stay focused on our path and achieve the success and fulfillment we seek. The Dokudo, or the way of walking alone, offers a powerful and timeless set of principles for living a meaningful and fulfilling life. While these principles were originally intended for the samurai class, they are equally applicable to people from all walks of life and backgrounds. The principles of the Dokudo encourage us to approach our lives with a sense of detachment and non-attachment, recognizing that the pursuit of external success and happiness can often lead us astray. By cultivating a greater sense of inner peace and contentment, we can approach our relationships and experiences in a healthy and balanced way, and find true fulfillment in the present moment. The path of the Dokudo is not an easy one, and it requires a great deal of self-discipline and introspection. However, by embracing these principles and striving to live our lives in accordance with them, we can unlock our full potential as human beings and lead lives of meaning and purpose.
Please remember to go like, subscribe, and share to Success Changers who brought you that video. Thank you. We have another video up here called, the title is, There Is Nothing So Survival That a Cop Won't Erase for You by Direct D. Please go like, share, and subscribe to Direct D. And if you do so, please let them know that Larry James 965 sent you. Thank you.
What's going on, everybody? We are live, and I have a special guest, my friend Jim. He wrote a speech that I really felt was impactful, so I gave him an opportunity to go live on my channel and tell it to you.
Outstanding. I appreciate that. Jim Freedom on YouTube. Feel free to move over and subscribe. We got a link in the pinned comments, so you can check that out if you'd like to. Here's my words that I wrote. Hope you enjoy it. There's nothing so trivial that the state would not kill you for. Every single time a cop pulls over someone, they are issuing a threat on that person's life. You will submit to their punishment or you will be killed. That is the reality of the situation. They might try to force your submission non-lethally at first, but make no mistake, if that doesn't work, they are 100% willing and prepared to kill you because you didn't use a blinker, or you touched the center line, or your registration expired last month, or you safely rolled through a stop sign, or your brake light's broken, even literally just looking suspicious. These are all things that they're willing to kill you for if a human being doesn't submit to playing their crooked and corrupt court games. If you think this is okay, you're a sociopath. If you're an enforcer of this, you're a psychopath. You should really consider that. You don't recognize your own tyranny because your absolute power has corrupted you, absolutely, and you are on the wrong side of history, and we the people will no longer tolerate it. We command you to start checking yourselves, or we're going to have to do some rebalancing. If I delivered this message to a city council, they would only listen for keywords that they can use to shut me up, and their actions speak louder than my words ever could. I hope you consider these words deeply and realize that the federal government, the state governments, all the governments at every level have gone too far. And as we, the people, like is a popular thing to say, we need to start refusing to tolerate it. That's what I have to say.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
So those of you that are watching, Jim is going to be doing a lot of work with Street News Network and the Direct D channel. You'll be seeing a lot of stuff from him, so I would advise that you start following his channel, so you can kind of keep in the loop of what we got going on. What's up, Surreal Cam?
What's going on?
But if you really think long and hard about what he just read to you, and you put it into everyday context, basically what he's saying is every time you get into your car, you take a walk out on the sidewalk, you run the risk of running into a person that has an attitude problem and the power to back it up. And what that means is somebody that could literally ruin your life because they're in a bad fucking mood. Crazy.
Unacceptable. For sure.
But this is Jim Freedom, you guys.
It's nice to meet everybody. It's really an honor to be able to bring my message to Direct D's followers. Nice to meet all y'all. I hope to see you over on my channel.
I think you guys needed to hear that so you could really sit there and think about exactly what it is that he's saying. You think that the government's here to protect you when there is, established case law throughout the last 20 years that says that's not actually the truth, and that they will kill you over spitting on the sidewalk, not using your turn signal, throwing trash on the sidewalk.
Littering, yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely asinine that a person's life is in danger for littering. I mean, we can't come up with a better deterrent than that,
It's crazy, guys, but just wanted to go live. Definitely go check out Jim Freedom's channel. You'll be seeing a lot more shit on his channel. I'll be sharing some of it on Street News Network, but for the most part, you'll be seeing it on Jim Freedom's channel. He's going to be the one involved in the lawsuits of the public records requests that you guys see happening. He's the one with the standing. He's the guy that's going to be in court with the lawyer. So if you want to follow the court proceedings of that, it's mostly going to be posted on his channel.
There we go.
I'll do the highlights on mine and Street News Network, but yeah, we need to sue him to make some shit happen,
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said in the other, us suing them is only going to ensure that they follow the law with us. You know what I mean? It's some other poor guy that doesn't have a channel that goes to try to do all this isn't gonna get. He's gonna have to sue the state. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Who do you think you're kidding? If anyone, it fades too fast for me to read it.
Oh yeah, I
It's
know.
cool, record the court.
Who do you
We're gonna
think
get
you're
there.
kidding?
We're
I
gonna
think
get to a
it's-
place where we're recording in court, where they have no choice but to let us.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have to. It's gonna take
All
some
the-
work, but
yeah.
we're gonna get there.
I've identified all the problems, and it's frankly, it's not going to be my face that's going to be the one involved in it, because as you guys have seen over the last couple of years, the police, the courts, everybody really does not like me. So
Not so much. He's not their flavor.
East Los Ares, ¿qué onda? All cats are beautiful. Mom's wholesome videos. What's up? What's up, man?
Statism is a religion.
Yeah, I just wanted to go live real quick. tell you to go over to Jim Freedom's channel. You know, I've got, I don't know, 240 something thousand subscribers. In the 24-hour period, this video should get about, let's just say 20,000 views. So, I mean, there's no reason why we can't jump Jim Freedom's channel up 10,000 subscribers in a 24-hour period. You know, that's how you really keep the establishment on their tiptoes, is when you can expand someone's reach in the snap of a fucking finger.
Yeah, that's power. That's power. These channels and this reach is real power. They're just barely starting to realize that.
Yep. But other than that, folks, we're gonna boogie.
Already subscribed. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for listening.
I got another video queued up here. The title of the video is Take Your Unlawful Orders and Shove It. Cops Get On. The video is brought to you by Justice for All. Please go like, share, and subscribe to him. And if you happen to do so, please let him know that Larry James 965 sent you. Thank you.
All right, how you doing?
Pretty good. What's your name?
Why does it matter?
Huh?
Why does it matter?
Because we got a call and we're here.
About what?
I'm giving you.
Why she not instructing you?
I'm giving you a lawful order.
That's not a lawful order.
It is a lawful order to move to the
I don't
sidewalk.
consent to your lawful order.
Well, you're about to consent. You're about to be in the back of the seat.
I don't mind.
Welcome back, folks, to the Justice for All channel. If you're new, smash that subscribe.
Oh, here we go. I think it's funny how they say that's a lawful order just because you're doing not what they asked. So now all of a sudden it becomes a lawful order because their feelings got hurt. And once they say it's a lawful order, it doesn't matter if it's a law or not, you must comply and obey. What the fuck? How does that make any sense at all? It doesn't. But there again, power absolutely corrupts.
Along with the bell, and everybody hit that like button. Folks, I found some more gangsters in uniforms here in the city of Miami Police Department. In action, ladies and gentlemen, the typical tyrannical behavior that we always see here in the city of Miami, busting unlawful directives, abusing their power for absolutely no reason. Don't want to waste too much time here. I want to get to this video. So folks, today's video I'm bringing to you is from a channel called Cops Hate Cameras. Folks, go give him the credit he deserves and tell him I sent you. He seems to be new. He only has 2 videos on his channel, but let me tell you, after this encounter you're going to see right here, you're going to see another quick one that he had with another city of Miami, which is on his channel as well. Seems to be that was his first video, but don't forget to let him know that I sent you. I'm going to leave the channel link down below with the 2 video links. We'll see you all throughout the video and in the end and in the comments, and I want to know what you think, and let's get to it and enjoy.
Atera is the IT painkiller. Remote monitoring and management, remote access, help desk and ticketing, smart automations, patching, software deployment, script.
All right, how you doing?
Pretty good. What's your name?
Why does it matter?
Huh?
Why does it matter?
Because we got a call and we're here.
About what?
About somebody who's been drinking and they're trying to get into their car and drive away.
Oh, then that wasn't me.
Sure. So what's your name?
Why does that matter?
So if you tell me your name and it's not the name that they told us, then we can just go away.
You can go away without me telling you my name.
What? Why?
What's going on?
Is it better if he asks you your name?
What's going on? Man, what's going on?
I'm asking him his name to see if his name is the one that they told us about. So that if
We
it's
got a
not
call
his
about
name-
somebody.
I already told him what it is.
Oh,
He just
okay.
doesn't want to fucking tell me his name because I don't know. I don't know why.
That's
Why
fine.
are
Happy
you using that
holidays.
kind of language?
Huh?
Why are you using that kind of language?
Why are you being so uncooperative? I don't
Why
get
should
it.
I be cooperative?
Because I think I've been cooperative. I think I've been a nice guy. I just want to save you from. If it is you, I just want to save you from getting in trouble, dude. That's all it is.
You can't save me from getting in trouble if I'm not doing anything to get in trouble.
Right, and I'm just trying to verify that you're not, bro. That's all it is.
We got a call. We got a call about somebody. Mr.
I just didn't why,
Yes, sir.
get why you gotta be like
That's
that.
why
man.
he asked you your name.
I'm all right. Everything all right. Yes, sir.
No problem, bro. Have a great
Happy
night.
holidays.
All right, you too, brother. Y'all have a good night.
Now that was quick. Folks, in my opinion, that cop had to be a rookie. Just the way he came at this man, his demeanor, the way he was speaking. Props to the cameraman, though. Now that's how it's done, folks. And we're going to go on to the next encounter here. Stay tuned because I really want to know what you guys think. Enjoy.
Christopher, could you stay back? You can record me, it's fine. Just do it on the sidewalk for it. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Like I said, all you record me is record me over there, right? You record me, okay? It's different over there. Because you're kind of distracting me. There's a lot of people there.
How I'm distracting you.
I'm talking to you, and I can't.
You don't have to talk to me. You can stay
You're
over there.
distracting me. It's for my safety.
I'm not
Over
distracting
there.
you, bro.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'll be respectful as much as I can. All right, Officer Santana Ford. We're doing an investigation. This is part of the investigation. I need you to go on the sidewalk. This is not the sidewalk. I need you to go to the sidewalk.
Listen, you can. I'm not instructing your investigation.
You are.
I'm not.
I am telling you.
I'm not.
I'm giving you.
Why she not instructing your?
I'm giving you a lawful order.
That's
to
not a
move to the
lawful
sidewalk.
order.
It is a lawful order to move
That's,
to the
I don't
sidewalk.
consent to your lawful order.
Well, you're about to consider him. I'll put you in the back of the seat.
I don't
You tell me.
mind. I don't
You
mind.
gonna go to the side, or you gonna? keep going?
It'll be a fine on the city, not me.
Listen, what are you talking about?
I'm not obstructing your investigation.
A street lawyer?
No, what
I'm
are
telling
you?
what
A
it is.
street cop?
Yeah, I'm a cop.
Okay, that's great.
Listen, you're gonna use. You're gonna move to the
Listen,
side or not?
you. They came over here talking to me. I didn't say nothing to none of these officers. Get your supervisor here. Get your supervisor here.
Listen,
It's a whole barrier between us, bro. We're
This is
behind
an
you.
investigation. She's an investigation. He is.
We have a whole bunch of narcotics here.
So
These
if you
people
want
are
to move,
involved.
Okay, that's
We're
fine,
talking
bro.
to them.
Y'all
I
can
don't
do.
need no one
I didn't
behind me while I'm talking
I
to
didn't come and say anything to you.
Well,
You don't
you're
have
in
to say
the
something.
My
Be a threat to
presence,
me.
my presence shouldn't be a threat to
Anybody
you.
can be a threat
You
to
got
me.
a gun on you.
Okay, I don't
You
know
got a
what you have.
taser.
You
You
can have
got
a gun
got
on you.
all.
It's legal now, by the way. As long as you're not a
But
felon,
you
it's
have
fine.
a gun on you, open carry. How am I a threat?
Listen,
You can
hey,
tell I'm not
just
a
stand
threat.
there, record me. I don't care.
No,
Just
you
stand there.
can't give me a directed order to stand over there, brother. This America.
Please do it.
You
I
can
know
do
it's
your investigation. I'm standing right here.
Look, I'm gonna talk to her, right? I go like this. You're a threat to me, right?
You did that.
I didn't do that. Just stand there.
Just because you want to talk to her, you can't give me a direct order to stand over here for nothing, bro. Yeah, pay me. Thank you. Thank you. That's a good. What's your name and badge number?
I don't sacrifice my safety.
What's your name and badge number?
Cabrera 444.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's professional. That's a professional right there.
Now that was absolutely uncalled for, ladies and
Welcome to the stream. Oh, I guess you left already. I was going to welcome you to the stream. You're more than welcome to interject at any time. Give your comments, thoughts, and suggestions. Thank you.
gentlemen, what do you guys think about that? Now, that officer right there that has his back turned, he's Officer Vega, City of Miami Police Department, along with the other one with the beard that was giving him the unlawful directives and threatening him with arrest. That's Officer Santana, by the way. I just don't understand, when are these clowns gonna learn? Let's keep watching.
Carrera is a professional, guys. These other two officers is tyrants, man. They forget that they work in America. They think they work in Nazi Germany or somewhere.
Yeah, call back or what?
Threatened me with arrest because I didn't want to stand on the sidewalk. This is crazy, man. And this is what we got to deal with in our community. All right, the guys probably did something they ain't supposed to do, but I'm doing something I'm legally bound to do. This is a protective activity that I'm doing right now. I'm just recording officers in their official capacity, and they go come bomb rushing me. I didn't commit no crime, but they want to put me on a crime by threatening me, by putting me in cuffs and behind a squad car. Think about that. See, we give these guys a gun and we give these guys a badge, but they don't respect it. No, I'm narrating on my camera. I'm narrating to my audience. I said those guys may have did something wrong, but I'm talking about the wrong that the officers did by giving me unlawful directive orders to move on the sidewalk. He didn't ask me, or he didn't ask me. They directed me to move. I'm telling you, but see, you addressing me. You addressing me. You're right, yeah. I'm talking to the camera.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? They sent you over here to check on us again? Huh? They sent you over here to check on us again? Check on y'all? What damn about y'all? Don't give a damn about y'all. Damn, I told you. I saw my bike. Didn't you just see my bike out? I'm on the phone. Oh, yeah, I remember. Just like the other thing is 2 blocks away.
And this guy asked me, was I a street lawyer? Because I know a little bit of my rights. See how fast they are ready to violate your amendments? Look, guys, we got more cars showing up. Back up. And this is a sergeant. How you doing? Huh? What's your name and badge number?
You have a lot of data.
What's your name and badge number?
45372.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And there you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to go subscribe to Cops Hate Cameras and also tell him I sent you. I'm going to leave his channel link down below once again with the full video links of both videos. And we'll see you on the next one. And let me know what you think also. See you in the comments. And to the next one, guys. Peace.
All right, everybody. That's going to be about it for today. Everybody have a great day. Better tomorrow. And we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.